Welcome to the Sisters of the Shire Podcast. I'm Abby, and with me today we have, of course, my beautiful co-host Ashley. And, you guys, we have the wonderful, amazing, really cool glasses wearing Don Marshall with us today. I can only say he's cool glasses wearing because look, we match. We almost match. It's so great. I mean, good. It's great.
I was going to say, these are some cool glasses that you're wearing as well.
I know. They're pretty sweet. Today we get to hang out with Don. So we have Ashley and I have been so excited for like the past like few weeks of like, oh my gosh, okay, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? And we like wrote all these questions out, and we've just been like, I don't know, giddy excited of having you on our podcast with us. We're so happy you're here.
A tiny bit of fangirling.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Just a little bit. Hey, I love going on podcasts. Having just like a chill vibe sesh to discuss Lord of the Rings was kind of a dream of mine. So the fact that people ask me to do it with them is I'm living large right now. This is great.
Perfect. That's exactly our vibe. You probably, people who are listening right now have heard our intro a million times by now, but this podcast is all about taking the works of Tolkien that are kind of lesser known and helping them be a little bit more available in the sense of
fun,
breaking it down to easier ways to understand it, breaking it down in a way that's like, oh, I understand that because they related it to this and like things like that. So that's our vibe, is chill, exploring the world of Middle Earth, but also having fun along the way. So we're glad.
Which is exactly what Tolkien would have wanted.
Yes.
Right?
And I want you to come along on this journey with us. I'm in my mind already planning if you ever want to join us in the future of like explaining a part of the book with us for a future episode, maybe sometime. That would be fun because we go through we're right now in the unfinished tales, and we're talking about Turin and all those fun things.
A great part to go deep diving into.
Yes,
it's hard though, man. It's
so
hard.
We're going to. It's a joke on our podcast. I'm like, this is the happy book, right? The things where everything goes right. No one's sad. Nobody dies. Like, it's great. It's great. It's great. Sunshine and rainbows.
No. That is the beautiful thing about Tolkien, is that you read the sunshine and rainbows part in The Hobbit, and then after that it's like, oh, you wanted more of that? No, here's a cave, here's mountains, here's an evil wizard,
here's spider,
here's flying dragon things. Like, come on.
Yeah. Somebody gets stabbed, it's all good.
A couple people get stabbed. It's a recurring theme in Tolkien. It's like Star Wars and losing hands. You just kind of have a thing.
I was going to say, someone loses a hand.
Every time.
Yeah. So to start us off, Don, would you like to introduce yourself, talk about yourself for a little bit, explain what you're about?
Yeah, so my name is Don. I go by Don Marshall 72 across the internet. I am known as the obscure Lord of the Rings facts guy. It is a long nickname. I didn't pick it. It just kind of stuck because I just kept talking about obscure Lord of the Rings facts, which my goal is to make them not as obscure. So like everyone can know that the first draft of Aragorn was actually a hobbit guy named Trotter, and that Sauron was almost going to be a cat in one of the early drafts. Yes. And I just wanted to make Tolkien more accessible for all of the losers like me in high school that didn't know any better, that this stuff was going to get them made fun of throughout their entire lives into adulthood, but sort of owning the cringe, if you know what I mean, just like embracing the part of that inner child that really resonates with you. That's what I wanted to do. And so I've been making videos for almost 5 years now doing exactly that. and just having a grand old time doing it. We've had kind of a Tolkien renaissance over the course of the last like 6 or 7 years. We've been very lucky. We've got the new TV show, the new movies. They're still releasing books of his notes. So I feel like I've just been, eating out of the palm of Tolkien's hand the last little bit.
Yes, give it to me.
We
Give
could
me
not resonate
everything.
with that more.
It's
So
good
I'm not
vibes.
sure how
Yeah.
much you listened to our podcast, but this whole thing started with, Abby and I are cousins. We've known each other our whole lives, basically. When the Lord of the Rings movies came out, we like latched on and just nerded out with each other since then. I started reading the Silmarillion to my daughter because I always wanted to read it, but I never had the time. But my daughter went into this phase of like not letting me leave the room to fall asleep. Like I had to stay in the room, but I didn't want to read her something that she would find entertaining. I wanted to read something that I found entertaining. So I just started reading the Silmarillion. And the more I read into it, I was like, oh my gosh, I really wish I could talk about this with someone. Who would be a good person? Abigail. Abigail is my person. And Abby's like, you should, I told Abby, you should read this with me. And she was like, I have 3 kids. I don't have the time. I have this weird thing going on where I fall asleep when I read books now. And I'm like, I've got it. I will tell you what happens in the book, and then we can talk about it, and we can like make it make sense to people that have brains like me and also brains like you. And then everyone can rejoice and be in the Tolkien universe too. So that's basically what happened. And from there,
And
a
that's a
podcast
great
was
way to
born.
get started. I mean, that's the Silmarillion is really confusing. So like having someone there to like
confusing.
walk through it makes sense. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's helped me.
We have
it
fun
really
nicknames
has.
for people.
Me and my mom brain.
And yeah. Yeah, so that's our vibe and what we're going for. And then we're just going through the other works that are also hard. And then we just throw in random episodes of let's recap the Rings of Power episode and see how it relates to what we've learned so far, what you thought about it. While we are very, very similar, Abby and I are actually very different too. So we have a good yin and yang. So
Nice.
that's our vibe.
So, yes. So we're glad you're here
That's
to join us and have fun with us today. So we're going to start off with
Happy
some
to be
like
here.
fun interview questions, just like about
Let's do
you
it.
and things that you love and everything like that. So we're going to start off with something a little, it's not heavy, but it's like, I feel like you can really get into
Lay it on me.
What is your favorite memory associated with Tolkien?
Ooh. Ooh.
I feel like you should be on a therapist couch with like, hello.
Yeah, seriously. It's like, okay, I really think no.
This one
Yeah.
time.
Okay, so
It's changed my life.
I have a lot of really incredible memories around the Lord of the Rings, but the thing that popped into my mind first was I have a very distinct memory of seeing The Return of the King in theaters. And you know how like when you think back to your childhood, you don't remember the whole event that happened, but you remember how you felt while you were there? I remember just this well of emotion as I was watching Pippin sing and Faramir charge to his death. I was in the theater with my mom and my friend and just thinking, oh, this is gonna change me forever. I'm different now. I think I'm like 12 or 13 at the time, so I have no idea. But like really, really, really loved that moment, just being like such a quintessential part of my childhood and thinking back to like, oh yeah, I did see The Return of the King in theaters. What do I remember when I think about that? Oh, here's this wonderful dude charging to his death with this song in the background that like it did something to my brain. I can't quite put it into words, but I'm different now because of that, for sure.
It changed me. It changed me. It
Yeah.
changed you for the better. It changed you for the better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Well, and
man,
I think that's something that Tolkien. Oh, sorry. We do that a lot. Abby and I talk over each other all the time.
No worries.
We
It comes
share
with the
brain.
territory.
Go on. I'm just talking. There's a child in here.
I think that was something that Tolkien was trying. Which child? Is it Oakley? So I think that's something that Tolkien was trying to convey, and that he does really well, is that the perspective of something that sacrifice of Faramir, and trying to honor his father, and be proud of me, dad. And that's just such a big adult perspective and an understanding, but yet you were able to understand it as a 12-year-old. And that is like the mind-blowing thing about Tolkien, is that these big ideas and these big, like, very grown-up things that grown-ups have to learn can be taught to the littlest of us and the youngest of us. And I think that's just one of the beautiful things about Tolkien that I absolutely love.
Yeah, he's so good at it too. He's like, he takes these, and it was essentially like what you were saying. You take these really big concepts and ideas and you just break them down into something a little bit more palatable for, 14-year-old me was having the time of his life watching the cool sword fights and the, horse charge and stuff, but like also understanding like, oh, this is about brotherhood and camaraderie and friendship and love and togetherness. And like, you feel that it's all in one together there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sorry, Abby, you were going to say something when I really interrupted you.
Oh, I was just saying that I think it's important, or it's interesting that like you said, that you don't remember the full scope of the whole memory, but you just remember the like feeling that it gave you. And then it's like, oh, I want to remember, or I want to have this all the time. Like I want to, have that love, passion of this work and all these things. And so like, that's when I feel like when I felt like that about when I was like learning about Middle Earth and things like that, I'm like, oh, I want everything now. Like, give me everything about Middle Earth. Give me everything about Tolkien. And I'm like, chasing that high. I'm chasing that high. Like, where is it? Like, yeah. So
there's nothing like your first time with that. It literally is like you're deep diving into the best of the best, and like the deeper you go, the more you're like, oh, it just keeps going, because the man didn't stop writing. He just kept going and going and going forever.
Yes. We have a joke on our podcast that like you walk into his house and there's just writing on everything, and like toilet paper, it's like written all over, or like they go to use something and it's like, I can't, dad got to this already, he wrote all over it. Like, come on. Okay, so next question that's kind of along the same lines as that one. What has been your favorite experience that Tolkien has brought into your life? Or in another way, how has going viral for being the obscure Lord of the Rings facts guy changed your life? Like, what is a favorite memory of being viral and becoming such kind of like a bigger name in the world of Tolkien? What favorite thing has come from that?
Oh God, there's so many answers to this question. But I think if we're gonna go biggest thing first, it was when the hobbits wore the merchandise that my friend Wizardway Chris and I we were raising money for charity with an Elvish phrase that we translated and put on a shirt that said, "You are all welcome here." And to this day, I still don't know how it happened, but someone bought the shirts and also sent Sean Astin a hat with that design on it. I don't know how he got the hat. We don't sell those kinds of hats on my merch store. Yeah, it was wild. And so I get little notifications on my phone whenever someone comments on my video when I'm in the TikTok app. So I'm just sitting there scrolling, doing whatever. And I get a little drop down on my phone that says, "Hey, I don't know if you saw, Dom Monahan posted wearing your merch." And I'm like, great joke. There's no way that happened. And lo and behold, I go to Instagram and there's Dominic Monaghan, Elijah Wood, and Billy Boyd standing there, hands behind their backs, just with my merchandise on. And then the next photo is Sean Astin wearing that hat with the same logo. And I don't think I spoke for like a solid 5 minutes. I was just sitting there like, Well, first I yelled a lot of expletives. I swore a lot, and it was funny because
Valid.
I was on my computer recording something else, and I'm sitting there and I look at it and I go, "There's no way this is real." And I literally drop everything and I just scream, and spent the next probably 24 to 48 hours just in this weird daze of like, oh, we're making international news. I was on the CNN entertainment page. I was on the BBC. Like, we made news in New Zealand. Someone sent me a clip of their local news in New Zealand covering this story. And it is the most wild thing that has ever come out of this.
Oh my gosh.
That's
That's so
insane.
amazing. That's so cool. Oh man.
It was
I
wild.
think I would have been like
it was
you.
very wild.
I don't know if I could have handled it. And if I saw it on my phone, I would have just placed my phone face down and like scooted it across the table and then just stared at my phone from like across the table. Like,
I'm very fortunate. Yeah, well, I almost did. I confess I almost did. I was very fortunate enough, though, that I had kind of been prepared for this. I had done, things like Comic-Con. I had already met the cast of Rings of Power. This is not a brag. This is just to say I had already gone through my fanboy phase. This was on a whole nother level, though. So I had to figure out a way to maintain my composure when someone from Variety reached out and hey, we'd love to get a statement from you. I'm like, what do you mean? Is my swearing not enough? And it was just one of those moments where I went, oh, this is so much bigger than me. This is so much bigger than Chris. This is a joining of the Tolkien community that is about love and acceptance. And I hope Tolkien would have been proud when he saw it, because it was such a lovely outpouring of support, not just for myself and for Chris, but for the BIPOC actors and members of the community that have felt that racism within the Lord of the Rings community, which is unfortunately a very real part of the community.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're so, I mean, when I saw that post, going through my feed, I saw that happening, and I think I saw some reaction videos from you too, when I think you recorded something like that.
I had a lot of those.
But I was like,
oh yeah, one of my videos responding to that comment is just straight up me going, oh, and just speechless, because I pressed record on my phone. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna press record and just hey, thank you so much. This means the world to me. And I pressed record and I went, nothing. I had nothing.
Oh no!
And your soul left your body, and
yes, quite literally.
Are you a freeze or flight or fight person? And you found out you were a freeze person. That's so
this
cool.
one was definitely a sorry, dogs. Yeah, I was definitely I immediately I took the moment. I let it set in. I called Chris, obviously, because Chris and I have been working together for many years now, and they needed to know. And after we hung up, I'm like, what do I do now? And so I went live, and just when people were like, hey, can you make these in sweatpants? I'm literally making new merchandise. And thankfully the merch team that I use has been great and very responsive and easy to make new things. So okay, sweatshirt, we got that. Sweatpants, we got that. You want it in a bucket hat? Sure, we can do it in a bucket hat. And I think I made 2 or 3 sales off of each. But it was just that dynamic of so many people coming together, seeing oh my God, did you see this thing? And I was like, yeah, I'm doing things about it right now. It was really great. It was really awesome.
That's so awesome. That's so great. It's funny when you put something out in the world and you're like, there we go. And then you're like, wait, what? Something's happening.
The best part of that was the money that we raised. We donated $21,000 of the money we raised to charity. And then when that happened, I got called out. I got mentioned in a video by an alt-right YouTuber who accused me of stealing that money, because we had that merchandise was not released for them to wear it. That was not a promo or anything.
Right.
We literally put it out several months beforehand, because I had gotten banned from TikTok because my account had been sort of brigaded by a bunch of just people reporting me for bullying or any number of things that like I basically called out a bunch of racists for, being racist in the Tolkien community. I'm like, please shut up. I don't care what you have to say. Your opinion is invalid. And I made it, and it sat there for months doing absolutely nothing. And then all of a sudden it's like, he's stealing. I'm like, all right, cool. Here's the receipts for my donation to the ACLU and to the NAACP Education Fund. Like it was truly one of those moments where you're like, oh, going viral is great, but also not at all.
Yeah. It very much put a spotlight on you.
But you could show the receipts. You could show the receipts and be like, there you go. And
you have to be able to.
That righteous,
because if you can't,
like,
someone will come after you.
Yeah. But that's so great. I didn't know how much you guys had made. I didn't know. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's I think we split it 3 different ways. It was the NAACP, the ACLU, and the Ali Forney Center. And I was in contact with one of the actors from Rings of Power, Ismael Cruz Cordova, who suggested that specific foundation because it was something he was aware of. It helps queer and queer BIPOC community members in New York, and that just seemed like the perfect place to like say, all right, what from the cast, what do they want their voices to be heard? And Ismael was kind enough to sort of work with me on that. So we had a it was a wild few days trying to get that set up.
That's a Rondeer, right?
Yeah, like you just drop a name.
Yes, that is our Rondeer. Yeah.
That guy.
What's that like? That guy.
It happens. Well, it's wild too, because like it's sort of demystifying almost, because like obviously I hold the cast of the Lord of the Rings movies by Peter Jackson on like this pedestal that I'll never be able to get them down from. But being able to like meet the people on Rings of Power and interact with the cast members from the Peter Jackson trilogy, it's like, oh, you wear pants just like me. You're a very normal person, and you being famous and me being famous, obviously it's not the same, but like we still feel that similar, like, this is weird. Like it is objectively very strange to have stuff like this happen to you. Even this podcast, like in general, most people are not taking a part of themselves and like putting it out there. And to sort of share in that camaraderie is like, it's a really cool aspect that I never really appreciated until then.
Well, we are very thankful that you're here.
It's a weird world.
You're the name we can drop. You're the name that we can drop on our podcast. So if that makes you feel special and happy.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so next question, which I'm excited about because Ashley and I were laughing about this one. Just kind of break it up a little bit. So we have talked about this for years, and it's changed a lot. But it's kind of a two-parter. Which character of any book, so it could be Silmarillion, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, whatever. Which character do you want to be, but which character are you actually?
Oh, great question.
Different question.
So I have been told many times that I am Pippin. I have very much the Merry and Pippin energy, the rambunctious, neurodivergent, ADHD, not officially diagnosed, but probably autistic, all of that swimming around in my brain. I will be the one to touch the arrow to have the body fall deep down into the well to awaken the Balrog.
Like,
that's me. I'm going to own that part of my personality and just go with it. It's me. Who would I like to be? This is going to come probably as strange to some people, because it has before on when I've done it in comments. I really love Boromir. Boromir is one of my favorite characters, and I do not think he gets enough credit for the baggage that he is bringing. I think the Peter Jackson movies made him feel a little bit more like he was a villain, where he's not. More so in the books, he's a guy that just has the weight of the world on his shoulders. and has been doing it for years. Like he is the heir apparent as the steward. He's also one of the best warriors in Gondor, and people look to him as like a leader. And so, not that I envision myself as him, obviously. Sean Bean is a very big, strong man, a knight in shining armor, literally inspiring people.
I
Long
can
But
see
like,
it.
if
I
I
can
were
see it, dude.
Oh, I want the long hair, man. I really want. I want to be able to toss it. It's my only regret of having this weird curly straight comb. I blame my dad. My dad was born in Haiti, so I get these weird like curls that are mixed with all of the Irish Italian side of my mom's family that just like
Your hair had no
I switched to a
chance.
comb over because at a
Genetics.
certain point. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not. The cards were not dealt to me in that favor. I can't get the long hosier locks. Try as I might.
You don't have that cool
I can still
hair
see
when
it,
you're
though.
like in battle and you can like flip it around and it's like, whoa, that
Yes.
kind of hair.
Yes. This is, if you've ever seen Shrek 2, Prince
I was
Charming
just
is the
thinking
inspiration
that.
for my
Mhm.
just like if I could have a full head of hair doing that sort of thing. That's all I need. That's all I
Oh,
need.
perfect.
I
And
love
it's always in slow motion.
Always.
It's
Always.
always in slow motion.
Toss toss.
Yeah.
Toss. A Wicked reference too,
Um,
man. You are
Sorry,
all
that's
over
Linda,
the place.
not
I
Shrek.
love it. No, well, the Prince
Sorry,
Charming
I'm getting-
is Shrek, but then Toss is Wicked. I'm with you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
You do a
Another
lot of
thing
movie
for
quotes on
Boromir,
ours,
he's
too.
the best brother. Boromir is the best brother.
True.
Yes,
He is
brother.
a good
True.
brother.
True.
And as a
Yeah.
mom of
Yeah.
two little brothers, like two boys that are brothers, I'm like, and I have an older and a younger, like a lot older and a lot younger from each other. I'm like, you better be good to each other. You be good brothers to each other. Like, so good brotherhood is very important to me. So Boromir is a solid choice. Solid choice. Just
Excellent.
don't get turned into a human colander with arrows, okay? Can you promise us that you're not going to do that?
No.
Oh, dang it.
We literally used it as a verb the other day. He got Boromired, or she got Boromired. We were saying she got the elf in the second to last episode.
Rings of Power.
The girl got
Yes.
Boromired.
Yes.
It's a
Oh,
term.
And then
yeah. Now that I think
Celebrimbor
about
got
it, that is
Boromir.
kind of the same thought process.
And then Celebrimbor got Boromired. It's a thing.
Oh, she'll be back. There she is. Okay.
Here we go.
Ashley keeps jumping off. So this is more of just an interesting thing that Ashley and I are like intrigued about is what is an item in your collection that you are most proud of? Your Lord of the Rings collections that you are most proud of? And what is a holy grail item
Go
that
get
you
it.
have
Go
not
get it.
yet obtained?
Can I go get it? Can I
Yeah,
go get
go
it?
get it. Go get it.
Because there's a story to this, and it's I'm so embarrassed to tell this story, but I must because the payoff is so worth it. Please hold.
Okay, well, you go get yours. I will go get mine because I want to show
Ooh, I
mine
didn't see
too.
the lightsaber wall
I'll
before.
I know, I see all the lightsabers.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. We're standing over your lightsabers.
This is my lightsaber collection.
Ooh.
Love
No
it.
problem.
Not a problem.
Okay, so story first and then the reveal. Story first and then the reveal because it is a
Love it,
deeply embarrassing story. So I am in London on my very first press tour for The Lord of the Rings of Power Season 1. It is the first time I've ever done anything like official. I had never been to a con as Don Marshall before. I had not sort of had any like outings in a professional sense. And so we're there for 3 days and it's amazing. It's one of the best trips. I have made so many friends in those 48 hours of being there. I get to meet all of my TikTok mutuals. I get to meet all of these people like the Tolkien professor and Alan from the Prancing Pony podcast, all of these people that I had been listening to. And so they take us into like this local movie theater within the hotel that we're in. It's a small 30, 40 person theater. And they bring us in and they sit us down and we watch the first 20 minutes of the Rings of Power, and they show us like a couple of trailers, a couple of behind the scenes, and a couple of scene stuff. And it's amazing. I loved it. I really like Rings of Power for those that are listening. I think they did a really good job with what they were given, and they are always going to improve, in my opinion. And then John Howe walks out. Now, for those of you that don't know that are listening, John Howe is one of the concept artists for the Peter Jackson trilogy of The Lord of the Rings. He is also one of the most prolific Tolkien artists of the last 40 or 50 years. And I raise my hand and I ask a question. And the question is, will you sign my shoes? I lose all professional decorum in front of like a dozen of my closest confidants and 20 other Tolkien peers, but my shoes have a map of Middle-earth on them. And John Howe signed the front, and to this day it is the coolest thing I own.
That is amazing. I love it. I'm here for it. Not embarrassing.
Yeah.
I was expecting you to like say like a wet my pants or something. Like, dude.
Yeah.
I did it in front of everybody. So it was just a tiny bit after the fact. I'm like, oh, I totally fangirled in front of everybody I know and respect, and also one of my artistic heroes of the world. And I was like, what did I just do? Everyone was really nice about it, though, because I had clearly lost all decorum. But now I have shoes that have been signed by John Howe, and they don't. So, haha. That's it. So, yeah, that's...
Okay,
that's
you
my
talked
whole
earlier,
week.
though, about like leaning into the cringe, though. That's exactly what we're talking about. I'm here for it, dude.
Fair enough. I still cringe. I got to teach myself not to cringe from it.
Yes, I have to say though, I was like worried that you're like, can you sign my shoes? And they were like nothing Tolkien related. That was the first thing you thought of.
That's what
You're
I was thinking too.
Sign my shoes. Like they weren't even like anything special shoes.
Right.
You're just like freaking out.
You would be right to think that. No one else in the movie theater knew that my shoes had the map of Middle-earth on them. So you had the opinion that everybody else did until I had to explain much later, oh, by the way, there's a reason I asked, because I really wanted them. And I wasn't about to miss it, because it was one of those things I didn't think I'd ever get the opportunity to do anything like this again. And I've since been able to, and it's been absolutely lovely. But like, I'm never going to be in the same room as John Howe again. When else am I going to get this opportunity? So I took that chance, took a risk, made a change, and break up. Sorry, I just quoted Kelly Clarkson unintentionally. It's the song "Breakaway."
And break.
Sorry, sing it now.
I was
come on, Kelly.
Literally,
it's just in my lexicon of like words to say out loud.
It's so funny. You said it, and then I'm like, why do I have this song stuck in my head all of a sudden? I didn't even realize you were doing it, and then it was stuck in my head.
It's just my brain. It's just my brain.
You are in
now
good
it's gonna
company.
Be stuck in my head.
You're welcome. It's a great song.
Speaking of songs, my personal favorite that I was going to show you, I'll probably go grab it later, but I have from the 1970s. I have to figure it out which year, but I have this composer worked with Tolkien, and I have a Tolkien songbook that's like all like the actual sheet music.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's very cool. I found it in a thrift store, and I was like, what is this? And then I was like,
is it by any chance The Road Goes Ever On? Is it The Road Goes Ever On one?
Here, let me go grab it. Hold on. Let me go grab it.
There's a couple of ones that I know. I love sharing Tolkien stuff. This is just my jam. This is what I do.
Hold on. Let me not have you fall down on my couch. Just a second. Oh no. Oh geez.
It happens. I've fallen down on a lot of couches. It's just something I'm used to at this point.
Okay.
It's also 90% of my con experience is just me on a couch while someone else is like, "Oh, hey, you can room with us." That's been my whole experience.
I love that. Are you going to any Comic Cons this summer? Or this year?
I'm gonna try. The one con that I'm definitely going to, I know for sure, is going to be NoCoCon. It is a very small. It is North County in Watertown, New York. It is also the location of where Viggo Mortensen was born and raised. So that's its like little claim to fame. But they invited me and the rest of my TTRPG group, the Unpredicted Party, to come on and do a live show on the main stage during the con.
Wow.
And it was the first time any of us had like seen like, oh, hey, this could actually be something. And we were kind of going full steam ahead, and it was wonderful. It was just before the Brennan Lee Mulligan episode. So I had already been like, all right, live show, Brennan Lee Mulligan. We're wrapping up in the next 20 episodes. We're going to be good to go. And of course, now, like a year later, we're finally done. We've finally wrapped. And it took us a year to go from Gondor to Mordor. So I think we got the better of them there.
I mean, that's pretty realistic, though, for the books. That took a lot. It took a few months, right?
Yeah, maybe ish.
Yeah. Okay, let's see it.
Yes, it is the songs. Oh my God, you have that?
Isn't it pretty?
You found that
The
at a thrift
Goodwill
store?
Hunters.
I know.
Oh my God, yeah. I know that. Oh my God, that's so cool.
Cool.
I know. Isn't it
You got that
pretty?
at a thrift store?
I did for like probably
So
like
pretty.
$1.
That's amazing. Man, I want to find
Tell
stuff
them
like
that.
that for $1 at a thrift store.
But like, look how beautiful. Hold on.
Ooh. Oh, it's
Jeez.
in Elvish.
That's amazing. I'm not sure if you've actually shown this to me, Abby. It's so pretty.
Thank you for coming to Lord of the Rings Show and Tell.
It's my
Like,
beauty.
what do I have to show
and
and tell?
she's
I don't have anything
beauty and
cool like
she's
that.
grace.
You've got the artwork in the background. That artwork
Oh.
is next level.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
He has not heard of Kip. And I was like, oh, you have to meet Kip.
Kip is so nice. Kip is so nice.
Kip's talented. I just found out about Kip, but I want all of Kip's artwork.
He's so
So
sweet.
if you ever get the
He's very, very sweet.
calendars, he usually has at least one of them. It's like the Alan Lee and the... Okay, I'll go get my calendar now.
It's like a combination.
Yeah,
of
there we go.
artists.
Peer pressure.
I know. Yeah. So Kip signed mine. Thanks to Abby for delivering and receiving.
Nice.
But it's all of the,
Mhm.
like, Jenny Dolphin, who's one of my favorites. I will meet her one day.
Oh yeah,
Like,
like
those-
Ted Naismith and all of them.
Yeah. So Kip Rasmussen is on the list.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love
So-
that.
And also,
Love
if
that.
you ever get the Costco selection, sorry, one more.
There's more.
There's more. When we first met him, I'm like, you're Costco famous, because this is his
Yeah.
artwork
Yeah.
on the side of the box that
Whoa.
you can get at Costco. So
That's awesome.
he's Costco famous.
He's Costco famous.
That's objectively quite famous in this day. Like in 2025,
Right.
in April
Yeah.
2025, being Costco famous is okay.
He's right up there with those
Right?
hot dogs. I love them.
Yeah.
He's right up there with those Costco hot dogs.
Well, Well, it's hard to like, okay, so I was trying to explain this to my dad because my dad, he loves and supports the podcast. He like, if he sees it on the Instagram, he will like it. He's like, that helps you, right? Like he just has no idea, but he's trying, man. Yeah.
Pressure.
And
Pressure.
so I'm like explaining, I got this really cool guest that's coming on the podcast. And I'm like, how do I explain who he is to someone who doesn't know? So like, there's like that level of like, but you could say, he's Costco famous, Dad. And he'd be like, oh, that's
Wow.
really cool. He understands that, you know, like.
Oh, her dad's a
I
Costco
love
dad
it.
for sure. Hello, we are coming into part 2 with Don Marshall. So we are going to jump right back in with questions. Say hello, everybody, again to Don. Hello, Don.
You thought you could get rid of me, but I'm back in the same podcast episode for listeners and in a different one for everyone. Thank you so much for having me back.
Yes.
We got him back. He liked us.
Yes, he liked us enough to come back a second time.
We've had one podcast recording, yes.
Yes.
But
Um,
a second would be even better.
We are just going to jump right back in because literally this will be the middle of an episode. So, jumping right back in. So, we have our own version of the Kiss, Marry, Kill game that people love to play with like celebrities or things like that. So our question for you is, who would you want to have a pint at the Green Dragon with? Who would you want to go into battle with? And who would you like to sail to the Undying Lands with?
What a fun twist on this question. Oh my god. Okay. So
It says a lot.
yeah. I have to think about this, but my initial impression is I want to sail with Glorfindel, who, if you have only seen the movies, he is an elf that was cut that replaced by Arwen, who saves Frodo from the Nazgul. He is also one of the only elves to kill a Balrog. He's one of, I think, 3 or 4 that did. Yeah. I just feel like that dude, one, doesn't get enough credit and has some amazing stories to tell. And also he's come back to life. So I feel like he and Gandalf might have something to say about that. Who would I want to have a pint with? He probably
deserves the retirement. He deserves that retirement. He's like, you killed a Balrog.
Yeah, he really does. He really does. Yeah.
Right this way, sir.
I think I would like to have a pint with Samwise Gamgee. I think he is probably, but like, if I can clarify, I would like to have a pint with Samwise Gamgee after he has already destroyed the ring and has been mayor of the Shire for umpteen number of years. I feel like he is just going to be the realest, down-to-earth, chillest dude to just kick back and have a brew with.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm going Samwise Gamgee on that. And then the third, what was the third again?
Going to
battle. You want to go to battle with. Yeah.
Okay. So this is I'm cheating because I'm picking 2. Because if we're still in Middle-earth, it's Aragorn. But also it's Elrond, because those two have perhaps the most charging headlong into battle experience of anybody in Middle-earth.
Elrond's her boy. You
Rightly
spoke
so.
The magic word.
Rightly so. Yeah. Yeah. He's the right choice. He's been like Battle of Last Alliance. Basically everything that happens in the first age. Like, how can you not want this man just being like, hi, I have endured several hundred lifetimes worth of trauma and I'm still going. Like, okay, man, you do you. You do you.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Excellent answers.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Good answer.
Thank you.
For it. I love it.
It's funny because we've asked this question multiple times with other people, and their difference of answers of why they would go into battle with some people, like or who they would sail to the Undying Lands with. We had my answer I gave already was I would love to go into battle with an Ent. I think that would be the funnest thing ever. And I said, wouldn't that be so fun?
Yeah.
If like I was like, could they like wouldn't it be fun if like I was like riding on a shoulder, like woohoo, let's go.
Yes.
No, I want you in a baby Bjorn, like in the front.
Like, a baby Bjorn. Like,
And now I'm just picturing Merry and Pippin in a baby Bjorn riding on Treebeard. That's a great visual. Thank you for that.
Well,
you're welcome.
Do I have
this
it?
is my brain and how it works.
Do you have it, Ashley? Ashley, did I give you a print of that?
No, you have it. I gave it to you for your birthday.
No,
that
the print.
Talking about your actual Treebeard.
Dawn, if you have a P.O. box or something, I can mail you something. My husband's
I do not,
artist.
but I will.
Send me your.
Say that. Sorry.
A mailing address.
Yeah, I'll send you my information after the pod. Well, actually, why don't I say my home address out loud publicly
right
on this
now?
Podcast? And we get it. No, I'm kidding. You can find me at 1601 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah.
It's the address for the White House, by the way, in case any listeners got lost on that.
Like it.
I just like the idea of someone sending a bunch of like Lord of the Rings swords to the White House and getting in a lot of trouble for that.
My husband is an artist, and I commissioned him to make me a Treebeard print, like a painting, and it's Treebeard with Merry and Pippin, and they have a little, like, his Treebeard's holding his arm out, and they have a little, like, swing.
Mhm.
Like, they're swinging on, like, a little, like...
Oh, that's
it's really
adorable.
cute. I know.
That's
it's very
so cute. Oh my god.
So I was going to send
Love
you
that.
one regardless, because as a thank you for being on our podcast. So, spoiler, that's what you get for being on our podcast. You get
Thank
a cute
you.
little
Thank you.
original art
That's your
print.
reward.
I have, that's
Original
literally
art
my
print.
wall. For those listening on the podcast, my wall is littered with just original artwork prints that people have sent me, so it gets to go on. Thank you. This literally, it's like a collection that has been growing over the last 5 years. It's wild.
It's so cool.
Cute. Okay. Those are great answers. Those are good ones. We haven't, what's
Thank
fun is that you've done all new ones. We haven't heard those ones before with asking this question. So it's fun to hear.
Really?
what
No
different
one picked
people-
Aragorn? Really?
I think someone said they were going to
I
do that,
think
but they're like, that's
Kaya
the
might have picked
first
picked
go-to
Aragorn.
answer. Yeah. So they kind
Wait,
of
did
go,
you have
but
Kaya on this podcast?
We
That's so
did.
funny. I love it. You're getting all of Tolkien talk on here. Excellent.
Heck
we
yeah.
had a really fun day with
But both
Max
her
yesterday.
and Max chose Gimli to have a pint with, which I thought was funny.
You know, Gimli seems like a fun drinking buddy, but I do fear he would get a little bit brash. And I'm a very chill
I
kind of
agree.
drunk. I just kind of want to sit there and enjoy
You don't want to
my,
have to
my
babysit
brew.
Gimli.
And yeah, I don't want to babysit him. And
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
I
He would
agree.
try to
I
like
agree.
wrestle
Right there
you
with you.
or like try to like pick you up for some reason. Like suddenly he tries to like
Yes.
throw you like over his shoulder and you're like, I don't want to do this.
Please don't.
Exactly.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Next question.
Go for
Go
it.
for it, Abby.
Oh, me? Oh,
Okay.
Oh gosh. Okay.
If you could bring back, oh, darn lags.
Something's
Okay, if you
getting
could
lost
bring
in
back-
translation here.
Sorry, one character from the dead, any universe of the Tolkien. You get. Who would you bring back?
No one's ever asked me that question before, and now I have to give it an immense amount of thought in a very short amount of time. Okay, so probably someone first age. Or, oh god, see, Boromir feels like the classic answer, because then we have all of the Fellowship up. But like, Boromir, I think, is cool dying honorably in battle. He kind of figured that was how he was going to go out, and he did, and it was good. Can I cheat and say Beren and Luthien?
I like it.
They're
I feel like
practically
they would
Practically
love
one.
to see.
I mean,
Right,
Yeah.
like if you get one, you get the other. Beren and Luthien, I feel like they could be like the coming back into the third age, returning to life, and being like, "We did all this? Wait, hang on, what, honey? Did we?" And I feel like they would really get a kick out of it. Like, "Oh, cool, the magic is still going. The wizards are still a terrible influence."
Baron's like,
Sauron,
that's my
he's still
boy.
here."
He got crowned king.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you
Yeah.
reunited the crowns. Come on, way to go, buddy. And like, he could Beren could give advice to Aragorn, and Luthien could
love
just be the most badass woman ever. And then the conversations that she and Arwen would have, because they basically already look like twins, is
Right.
yeah, I'd say Beren and Luthien. Thank you for letting me cheat. but
I
yes.
love that answer.
I
love it.
That's a good
It's a very unique
answer.
answer. But I love how
Thank you.
it's not like not for their like redemption necessarily, but to witness all of the good things they've done. Like
I'm
we
very
did this.
Tolkien kills people very thematically. It's not like a sort of George R.R. Martin where it's more realistic, like their deaths have meaning, their deaths have impact. I love the idea of bringing people back to life to be like, hey, look what you did. Look what your actions led to. And being able to show that is like I did a good job. It feels very validating.
Yes.
I love that.
And
love how your brain
wait,
works
can
like that.
Huon come too? Can Huon
Yeah,
come
Huon's
as well?
absolutely coming.
okay.
Huon's absolutely coming. They're a package trio. You, me, and the
Oh,
dog, right? Come on.
Yes. Yes.
I love it.
So, speaking of like you're kind of going to like jumping around for different Tolkien books, what is your favorite other than The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit? What are the more what is your favorite more obscure work from Tolkien?
Okay.
One that
So,
people don't
this
really
is gonna be-
get into very often.
This is a shameless self-promotion. However, while I was writing my book, which is available in November, I
So excited.
was researching all of the other stuff that Tolkien wrote that is non-Lord of the Rings related. And I stumbled across a lecture that he gave called Beowulf, the Monster and the Critic. And
Ooh.
it's a lecture that he gave basically telling a bunch of academics that they're all idiots and you are looking at something wrong. So Beowulf, if you don't know, it's I think 10th or 11th century Old English epic poem, tells the tale of Beowulf. There's a whole journey. There's some dragons. There's some gold. There's, the typical standard fare for that sort of thing. But it was always, in Tolkien's time, looked at from the perspective of, look at this piece of literature and how it connects to the themes of this part of the world and the cultural influences here and there. Tolkien writes up this whole lecture and gives it and eventually turns it into a book, basically saying, hey guys, you missed the point. The story is amazing. Check this stuff out. There's dragons. How awesome is that? And I just love the idea of Tolkien looking at something and going, that ain't it, guys. That ain't it. We gotta figure out something else because you're looking at it the wrong way. It's like, oh God, this is such a deep cut. There's an episode of a PBS show called Arthur the Aardvark, where they go to an art studio and the Binky, one of the kids in Arthur's class, sees a painting and goes, it's sideways. And they like go through this whole like 20-minute episode trying to find the artist, I think, and the artist is like, oh yeah, you hung it the wrong way. And I always think of those two things in tandem together because Tolkien looks at this whole like epic poem and goes, no, that's not right. You're wrong. This is what it's supposed to be. And I just really love the idea of Tolkien taking something that he was very passionate about and going, nuh-uh, it's supposed to be this way.
Nuh-uh.
And most people agree with him right now. So Beowulf has gotten
amazing.
sort of a resurgence in popularity. They made a movie of it not too long ago.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's an
Interesting.
excellent cut.
That's a deep
wise
cut.
answer. You're teaching us so much.
I didn't get this
loving the
nickname for
Arthur
nothing, right? I'm the obscure
Right.
Lord of the Rings. Thank you. Yeah, the shout out to all the PBS kids out there. You're the real ones.
Yes. We support PBS.
Yes, honestly, these days support PBS.
Seriously.
Yes.
Okay.
And like Arthur always says, or the brain, having fun isn't hard. Can you finish it?
When you've got a library card.
That's right.
I knew you people were
right.
cool. All right. Shout out to all the PBS kids. There's that and
You heard it
Cyberchase.
here first,
Anyway,
folks. Supporters of PBS Kids.
Sorry, we were talking about Tolkien, and as always with every podcast I'm on, I've gotten horribly sidetracked because I go on tangents.
We love tangents and segues. We love them.
Yes,
Excellent.
yes.
Excellent.
We're here for it. So we want to talk about Rings of Power for a second.
Yeah.
We are huge Rings of Power fans. We love Rings of Power. We love, the beauty and the artistry and all of the kind of like culmination of the things that we love about Tolkien. We finally get to see on screen again. And this, does that make sense? It's like, I finally get, that feeling of,
Yes.
what's it called?
Oh, there she goes.
that nostalgia of when I was a kid. Hello, am I back?
You're back. We got you. You're back.
Hello. Okay. That nostalgia of when I was a kid and I was first watching the first movies, and I was like, I love this. This world is beautiful. And then getting that again with Rings of Power, getting
Yeah.
that beautiful world again. So we want to know, just like, what did you enjoy the most of Rings of Power? Are there any parts that you like probably didn't agree with, or maybe like, oh, I don't know why they took it in that direction? Or do you have any favorite Easter eggs or things like that?
Yeah. So full disclosure, I have had the pleasure of meeting several times the cast and the showrunners for that show. They are all really nice people, very kind, and are willing to just sit down and tell you how they did what they did and why they did what they did, any number of times in any number of ways that you ask them. I like Rings of Power. I think given what they received from the Tolkien estate, they are doing the absolute best they can because they're trying to tell a second age story without access to the second age material unless it's in the appendices, which if you've gone through the appendices, it's not an easy task to do. You kind of have to create your own little bit of imaginations and through lines because, you know, the part in the Silmarillion known as the Akalabeth that tells the story of the Second Age in the Silmarillion gives a lot more detail, gives a lot more of the general angst that is there present in the Second Age, because you kind of get this, right? You know generally what's going to happen because Aragorn is not a king in the beginning of the films or beginning of the Lord of the Rings. He's very much like, oh, my people are gone, we suck. And then you see Numenor, and that first shot of Numenor, I was like, they showed it at San Diego Comic-Con on the screen that is just like the wide one that takes up 180-degree rotation of the whole place. And I don't know what it was, but something clicked in there for me. I was like, oh, this is the majesty. This is the grandeur. This is not the Lord of the Rings third age Peter Jackson, right? They're trying to do their own style, and I respect them for going for it, right? It might not be everybody's cup of tea. I get that. It happens. But in so many ways, I think it gives it's a little bit freeing, right? In the way that, like, oh well, nothing will ever replace the Ralph Bakshi version of The Hobbit. Well, okay, there's going to be another adaptation of The Hobbit down the line, and wouldn't you know it, it should have been Guillermo del Toro. I honestly, I do think, as much as I appreciate the Hobbit movies for what they are, I would have loved to see a Guillermo del Toro version of The Hobbit. Give someone else a take. And I think bringing Peter Jackson back was not necessarily the best call. It was fine for what it was, and I appreciate the Hobbit movies for what they are, but I wanted there to be different interpretations. And I quite like what they're doing here with the artistry of it. I think the CGI that they do use, while sparingly, is very well placed, creating the cities, the sets that they are building. I haven't had the chance to visit them yet, but I have seen the people on those sets and the behind the scenes stuff, especially at Comic-Cons. Absolutely stunning. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and they've sort of slowly started trickling out the behind the scenes release stuff. Love seeing all of that. And it has just become one of those shows that, like, every 2 years or so, I get to go back into this Middle Earth that not many people recognize because so many people are focusing on the Peter Jackson trilogy. It's like, no, there's not just that. There's also this. And, you know, my first exposure to Star Trek was the J.J. Abrams movies. But now I have gotten into Star Trek because of those movies and can appreciate the J.J. Abrams movies for what they are, as well as the sort of direction that actual Star Trek takes with, like, philosophy and stuff. Same is true with Rings of Power. I understand that it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but man, what a solid introduction to Tolkien in terms of, like, world building, size, and scope. They go big in all of the right places for me.
1000% agree.
I just love that they didn't hold back. Well,
You
I'm not
muted
muted.
somehow? Oh, there you
No,
go.
you're good.
No. Not muted.
Very
I just I'm watching it with my husband. I watched The Rings of Power with my husband, and he hasn't read the Silmarillion. He read The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit like in high school, and he's not like super delved deep into like the kind of history of what would be shown in The Rings of Power.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like this teeter-totter of like, he kind of has to ask me like, what's that? What's going on? Who's that? Like like things like, But I also love that they didn't dumb it down, if that makes sense. They didn't like, they like kept it for the people who love it and love the history of it. And they're like, hey, if you want to know more and are confused, how about you go read the book? Like it's kind of that like, you have to know more, and it's very satisfying for the people who do know it and have read the books and things like that. But it's also, as I say that, it's not inaccessible to people who've never read it. It's still a very fun show. It's still very visually stunning. The acting is amazing. You can still feel the emotions and the weight of what's happening in the story without knowing like, oh, I know everything about this character because of blah, 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 So it's that teeter-totter of like, I'm so glad they didn't dumb it down. And like, we get to enjoy these like deep cuts of things that we love. And then it's also accessible to people who have probably never read it. So,
and that's the thing that so many people, I think, have to realize is that the number of people that have read the Silmarillion versus the number of people that have watched TV, it's not even close, right? The Silmarillion audience itself is like a tiny little fraction. I happen to be in that tiny little fraction, and I assume both of you are too, or at least somewhere close to that. But it's definitely
That was our whole first season.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, it's kind of one of those shows that I think lends itself to, if you read the source material, you'll get it. But the source material is like really hard and dense. So just enjoy the TV show for now. And then if you ever feel like reading the Silmarillion, come join us over here. It's a little weird. We've got strange incestuous relationships and people dying more than Game of Thrones and dragons that bewitch people into having Oedipus complexes. But really, who's to say people don't want that?
It's true.
Thank you.
So in the show, are there things that you gave its praises, which it totally deserves, but was there any instances where you were like, oh, well, that could have been different?
Yes. So here's my, oh God, see, you can post this to
Let it out.
TikTok if you want.
Let it out.
Here's my thing. The Rings of Power is taking an approach. I do not necessarily think it is the best approach. I think the Rings of Power could be structured a little bit differently. I think we need to go the way Andor is doing it, where there's an arc for 3 episodes, there's an arc for 4 episodes, there's an arc for 2, or some mishmash of a number of episodes, a contained story being told in those, and sort of getting our little dose of Lord of the Rings while watching these immortal elves go through the motions of trying to save Middle-earth from Sauron. And while I appreciate the story that they are trying to tell, I think given the limitations that they have in not having the rights to the Silmarillion, it lends itself better to a little bit more episodic storytelling, which in a way is kind of what the Silmarillion is, right? He doesn't go through all of the kings and queens of Numenor trying to tell you one after another how everybody is. You're skipping ahead, and then you've got a 500-year time skip, and then, here's this one guy, we're going to focus on him a little bit, and then another 500 years pass, and then there's some dancing bears, and then you go back to another one, and then there's some dancing bears in Numenor for listeners that are maybe unaware. It's got a fun name, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, there's a pacing issue that I think again, I will harken back. Again, I give a lot of the grief to the Tolkien estate. Like, if you're gonna tell a second age story, give them the rights to the Silmarillion. What's the matter? A couple $100 million? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think from a storytelling perspective, character arcs are great, but story arcs with the characters that we already know might have been a little bit more of a compelling narrative. Now, that does exist. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist. We've got Elrond as a character. We've got Galadriel as a character, and they're going through those story arcs, but it feels as though they are trying to do a little bit more of a Game of Thrones-y style, where they're jumping around every which way to the various kingdoms and recreating that. And not that I mind that. That is one approach. I just don't necessarily know if that is the best approach for Tolkien. Because you could do an entire 5 seasons on just Moria. You could do an entire 5 seasons of just the Celebrimbor creating the rings, right? There's the political drama and the intrigue of Celebrimbor and Anatar. There's the grittiness of the dwarves. There's the pomp and circumstance, and then the downfall of humanity from Numenor. And it does kind of feel like we're trying to have all of these plot lines in a season that should be 20 episodes long. Let's be real. The Rings of Power,
just
double
20?
the episodes.
I want like 50.
Yeah. And I think that's sort of what they're going for in talking to the showrunners. It very much feels as though they are like, let us tell a 50-hour story. So I will judge the seasons, right? I will let 8, 10. I'm hoping maybe they can do a 12, but like, it very much feels like they are trying to tell a 50-hour story of the Second Age rather than season 1, season 2, season 3.
Yeah.
And while I think that it's remarkable, it's incredibly challenging to do that in the roaring 20s of the second millennium here in pop culture. It's like it's one of those situations where I hope we can look back on it and say it was ahead of its time, or it was doing something no one else was doing. But I don't necessarily know if that's what it's going to be, but that's okay. Not every Lord of the Rings medium has to be some sort of groundbreaking, amazing thing.
True,
but it
true.
should be.
Yes. Hey, I was thinking maybe we'll get a Del Toro Silmarillion movie someday. That would be cool.
You know what I want? Actually, Guillermo, if you're listening to this, or if you want to post this,
he's a huge
on
fan.
TikTok.
He's a huge fan of our
post
podcast.
This. Here we go. Yeah, of course. Now, listen, Guillermo, can I call you Guillermo, sir? Lo siento por mi español es no bueno, pero The Lord of the Rings is a beloved franchise, but I want the gritty, hard reboot. Give me a young Aragorn origin story where like the worry is his friend going to survive the winter? Give him like a love interest before Arwen and show that loss, or give us having him meet Arwen. Show us how he fought by Theoden's side as a kid, because that's what he did if you read the appendices. Aragorn fought by Theoden's side. Aragorn fought in Minas Tirith with Denethor's father. All of these things like happened, but everybody around him dies, and he gets to live and become king while everyone else is dead, right? Theoden's dead. Denethor's dead. His kid is dead. Éomer, he doesn't know Éomer. He was just sitting there kind of doing whatever as a toddler. Meanwhile, this guy's off. Like, give me the gritty Aragorn, Guillermo del Toro, like Hellboy style adventure. That's what I want.
I love
Can
that.
I pitch you a Del Toro, Tolkien?
I will clip that
mashup?
Yeah, and send it to you.
Thank you. Yes, I really want Guillermo del Toro to watch this, and I will. I mean, look, we've had the cast of the Lord of the Rings and the Rings of Power. So, yeah, what do you got?
A Beren and Luthien story with the werewolves, the Werewolf Island, giant Morgoth, where she has to come or she has to be that. Doesn't she like wear like a skin?
I take it back.
Something?
It's Beren and Luthien. Yes, she does. She does. She puts on the cloak.
Like-
Yes, I take it back. Guillermo del Toro, if you are watching this, the Baron and Luthien, Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy, monster creature.
Oh my gosh.
I have chills. Look at me. I have goosebumps. I have actual goosebumps
Pan's
thinking about
Labyrinth
this right
version
now.
of it. Jeez.
Yes.
with all like,
I
and
need
then
it.
they go into that pit with all
Karkaroth.
the werewolves, and like that one
Mhm.
elf is like fighting all of them. Guys.
Okay, so the next half hour of this podcast is just going to be us writing the screenplay and trying to
Write
get
that
it to
down.
Guillermo del Toro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Write that
Hold
down.
on,
Write
casting.
that down.
Casting. Let's start with casting. I need
Casting.
I need a visual.
Okay.
I don't know any of the young
Hear me
actors
out.
nowadays, though.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
I want Austin Butler as Baron. Give the guy that played Fade Routha in Dune and Elvis. He's got the physicality. He's got the if we want to go Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan's got the athleticism to be just an absolute powerhouse. I don't know if anybody's seen Sinners, but that man can act.
He's
very
chops.
good. Luthien, he does. I think just from like a star-studded cast, I don't know if I would cast anyone very famous as Luthien because she needs to be sort of like a rising actress that's going to blow everybody away. But if I had to go like very famous, I would probably go. Oh my gosh, what's her name? Queen's Gambit. She plays Paul's sister in Dune.
She's also
Is
the
it a
voice
three-per?
of,
Hang on.
Peach.
It's not Abigail Breslin.
It's Joy. Something Joy is her last name.
Anya Taylor-Joy. I want Anya
Yes.
Taylor-Joy as Luthien. She's got that sort
She's
of like
very-
waif,
she's very
young
elvish.
elf.
Yes.
She's got the
Yes.
cheekbones. She's got the cheekbones for it, for
the
sure.
cheekbones, yeah.
I judge my elven
Fair
casting
complexion.
almost entirely on cheekbones and complexion, and Anya
They
Taylor-Joy
can keep their eyes
100%
open for a
has
really
that.
long time.
Yeah, yeah. You got to be able to not blink for at least a solid 5 minutes. Just like, hey, what's up?
Okay, so who's Finrod? Who's Finrod?
Finrod's our boy. So it's got to be a little bit older,
Okay.
but can't be too much older.
Slightly, but he can still look elven. Okay. Okay. Hang on. I'm gonna Google famous actors. And we're gonna do this.
I had one, but I'm like, but
Okay,
he's also
while you
too silly, but he's
Google-
pretty enough for it.
Hit me
Into
with
the
it.
Woods,
I'm ready.
Abby. Into the Woods.
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine? Chris Pine? Oh, Chris Pine would have been great.
The other brother, the one that sings. No, he's not.
Oh, the he's on Broadway.
The Aladdin.
He's on Broadway.
He's also in Aladdin.
Yes.
He's also in the new Lilo and Stitch movie. He's pretty.
I know who you're
No
talking
idea.
I
about.
don't know his name.
I am excited.
Abby.
Okay. Can
don't
you
watch Into the
imagine
Woods?
a Del Toro?
I
He
do
can
not,
sing, so he could do the rap battle.
Guys,
I will find him. I will find him.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
guys, imagine a
Okay,
Del
then who's
Toro
Sauron?
giant werewolf.
Yeah.
The one, and then he eats the Silmaril and he's going crazy.
Karkaroth, yeah.
Imagine that scene in your brain. And then also imagine
Yep.
a giant, just in your head, that kind of scene of like the throne room of Morgoth, like giant Morgoth when she goes and she tries to get the
Mhm.
Silmaril out of his crown. Like, can you imagine the look of the throne room and everything if Del Toro got that? Like, ugh.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I can.
That'd be
and
so
I want
cool.
it. Thank you. Okay.
Billy
Here's
Magnuson.
who's Billy. What's
Billy
his name?
Magnuson.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Definitely got the cheekbones for it. Got the
Right?
bright blue eyes, the musculature. Okay,
The
I can see
blonde
it.
hair.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
And he
grow it
can
out a little
sing.
bit.
Uh-huh.
And he can sing. Okay.
What was your choice
Okay,
for
so then
Finrod?
Sauron
Okay,
needs to be...
Okay.
Sorry.
Hear me out. Hear me out. You bring back Charlie Vickers to play Sauron in the Guillermo del Toro one, because that man is perfect. He is. I don't know what it is about him. I think the kids call it aura. He has the aura these days. That man is just radiates in the best possible way, because this is not him in real life, but when he is on screen, he radiates manipulation and beauty. It's like, I'm going to make you do everything I want, and you're going to thank me for it.
Yeah.
And they do.
The gaslighting, unreal.
Here's what I will say, though, because we've got a couple of the Feanor, children of Feanor. Have you seen Stranger Things? Do you know Noah Schnapp?
Yes.
I think he plays Will. He has aged to the point where he's like a little bit more like tall and thin than the rest of his co-stars on Stranger Things, and he's got that like swept back hair with a little puff in front of it. It's like he could be one of those like arrogant sons of Feanor. That, or could Tom Holland handle this? I feel like Tom Holland might be able to pull off a little bit of like a brash, abrasive kind of.
So he's Feanor.
Ooh, no, see, I've never actually cast
Noah
Feanor in my head. I don't know anyone that could do it justice. It's Feanor's.
Feanor is, oh my gosh, The Witcher. The Witcher.
Geralt of Rivia? Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Interesting. Feanor as Henry
my
Cavill.
Yeah,
See, I would probably go for Henry Cavill as Baron. If I'm going to go like strong, burly, muscular, I'm thinking like a Chris Hemsworth style of like angry white man sort of deal for that situation.
But but my choice stinks because they already cast him as an elf, but Lee Pace, who is Thranduil, he would have been.
He'll make a cameo. Just have Thranduil be in the Tale of Beren and Luthien for no other reason than it's cool. That's the only reason we need.
I just need to see Lee Pace. Bring it back.
Yeah, come on. Come on.
No, I was going to say, he would have made a great Feanor. He would have made a great
Yes. He's got wait a minute. Hear me out. Thingol. We need Thingol. We need Luthien's father. You ready for this? Kenneth Branagh from Gilderoy Lockhart in Have you seen anything Kenneth Branagh is a damn good actor, and he I know the Gilderoy Lockhart is how most people our age know him, but that man, watch him in Dunkirk, watch him in oh god, Hercule, what's that, Murder on the Orient Express. There's so many great he's got the acting chops to play that hoity-toity, very arrogant king style thing. He's got the suit for it. Why isn't this happening? Why can't
Hey, we're gonna put it
that
out.
I would counter.
It's gonna be out in the universe.
Yes.
So Melian
what do you
is
got?
Game of Thrones 300 Cersei.
Leah Hadley.
That one, yes.
Ooh.
Because the thing about Melian is
Regal.
that she is regal, but she is also Team Thingol, so she's got to have a little bit of the arrogance and stuff with her too, right?
Yeah. She's got and I say this with as much love as I possibly can. Might need to go slightly younger, only because the elves are in their 20s all of the time, maybe 30s.
Right. Well, I'm thinking prime versions of all these people, of course.
Whoa.
That's okay. That's fair.
We
That's
have a
fair.
time machine.
What about that lady? What about that lady who's in the new Mission Impossible movies and she has crazy big eyes? What is her name?
Oh, Haley Atwell. Yes. Ooh.
I feel like we could do this for hours.
Okay.
You guys.
This is good. No, this is good.
name?
This is what a Tolkien podcast is all about. Haley Atwell,
what?
I believe.
She's in other stuff too. Oh, she's
No, not
She's in
Haley
Captain
Atwell.
America.
Not Haley Atwell.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
blonde. She's blonde. She's really blonde.
She could be a good Morwen.
What's her name?
Sorry, I'm looking at my phone.
She's the blonde.
Who did she play again? What was the person you said?
Vanessa Kirby.
Oh, yes, from the new Fantastic Four movie.
Yes, her.
Vanessa Kirby. Oh, I like Vanessa Kirby for this. I dig it. I dig it.
She's very that like stoic, ethereal, she would just stare at you.
Yes.
I can see it.
Yeah, she'll kill you with her eyes, and then you'll thank her for it.
Yes.
That white skin. Man.
Yes, look at her.
The beacons are lit when she steps out into the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
We put this out in the universe. Who knows?
Yes, sorry, we've gotten side. You have questions for me, but I've spent the better part of 10 minutes fan casting.
No, we're right there with you, sir.
We love it. We do that on our podcast all the time. We help people with understanding the Silmarillion by like finding people they would know in their life, like in other media. Like we say, who is Captain Balerion, Ashley? Who is Captain Balerion?
One more time.
Sorry, repeat that. You cut out.
You cut out. We correlate different different characters to characters of the Silmarillion. So we have a Captain Balerion who is it, Ashley?
Finrod.
Finrod is Captain Balerion because it's instead of Captain America.
I like it.
It's Captain Balerion. And then Feanor is Tony Stark because that's exactly his vibe, I feel. And then
I like it. Carry on.
Tor is Thor and what's his friend? What's the tour guide? We call him his tour guide.
Veronwë.
Veronwë is Loki.
Oh.
Veronwë is
His
Loki.
Tour guide.
It is his tour guide. Okay.
Also, I take it back. Tuor should be played by Chris Hemsworth.
Oh.
Tuor should be played by Chris Hemsworth.
Is there anyone else that could be played? Yeah.
No.
Because he also, so we have a running joke that like compared with like everyone else's journeys, Tor literally like spends the time to pick up a flower and smell it. And he's like, we like imagined him just like, prancing through the meadow, like that's just Tor's vibe, but he's also this like big Viking burly man at the same time. I feel like Chris Hemsworth could do both. I feel like he could fit right in that.
He 100% can. He 100% can.
He could make a flower crown.
Yeah.
Yes, and honestly, I would love to see him in a flower crown. If Chris Hemsworth puts on a flower crown and acts in a Lord of the Rings, I don't think there's anything else I want in life.
I agree.
And you have like a really grumpy Veronwë.
He makes one for Veronwë and he like offers it to him. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just like, come on, we gotta go.
We love Tor very much.
Let's move.
He might have one of my favorite stories, Tor. It's not talked about enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna come into the speed round conspiracy theories.
Bring it.
Okay.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please.
Because we decided trivia is like, it's a right or wrong answer. You probably know more than we do. You know more than we probably. You know more than we do. So it's not like we can judge you on trivia. So we thought your conspiracy theory, your opinions, your ideas, there's no wrong answer. So.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Ashley's got the first one.
Can I do my first one? Because,
let's do it.
I hate this thing so much. I had so many questions when I was researching this part. What are your thoughts about the Stone of Eric? Why? What is the purpose? What is the point? What is the story?
Okay. The thing you have to understand about men is that we like cool rocks. We love cool rocks. Can't get enough of them. If there's a cool rock, we're going to either pick it up or pick it up and throw it, or pick it up and keep it. When you have a really cool rock, you take it with you everywhere. And sometimes you take that rock with you on the boat from Numenor to Middle Earth, and you roll it somewhere and drop it. And honestly, that's the only reason you need. I can't explain it more than that. It's just a cool rock.
They get it off the boat.
Okay.
They get it off the boat and they roll it to where they're going, and they sit it down and put their hands on their hips. They're like, I feel fulfilled. I feel fulfilled. This is what we needed to do.
Yes. 100%.
Now what do 100%. We do? Oh, they already had rocks here? Crap.
Ah, man.
Shoot. Well, this one's really smooth, and we can use it as like a place to hang out. That's it. Sometimes you just need a cool rock that acts as a place to hang out.
I know.
I love it. We said we meet by the rock.
Doesn't need a cool hangout rock. The cool rock.
I love it.
Okay. Next.
Go up.
Where are those darn blue wizards, and what are they up to?
The South kissing. No, I'm kidding. So I personally subscribe to the theory that that they went south and either got corrupted or fell into shadow or something, or they were. Yeah, I like the idea that they fell into shadow because the wizards suck. I'm just gonna put it out. The wizards are bad. The wizards are just they're not good. They're just, other than Gandalf, they're idiots. And I feel like they failed.
Hey,
that's my
You don't
thing.
talk about my boy Radagast that way. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I might have words about Radagast.
Okay, fine. While you're busy cleaning all of the bird dung out of his house, I'm gonna be in with my somewhat more manicured nails than a normal person, with no dirt underneath them, with a clean house with minimal amounts of dog fur, despite the animals that I have in the house. Right? I can't. If he wanted to help, he would, but he doesn't. So I don't need to. No.
Yes. My version is that
when we went over that. Okay, go ahead.
With the Cheech and Chong version, the Blue Wizards just did Cheech and Chong. They opened a art studio kiln, and they're living in the South in the desert, like those old like desert old men that are man, their skin.
Whatever happened to the Gandalf guy? Whatever happened to that Gandalf guy? I have no idea, man. What do you think happened? I don't know. And that's it. That's the extent of their.
Weren't we supposed to do something?
It's probably not important.
Yeah. Okay.
When we went over that part with the Astari going to Middle Earth, we bring up the fact that okay, you have to bring your little brother Radagast with you. But Mom, no, you have to bring him because he didn't want to go.
Nope. No, he didn't.
But also
no,
I need him out of Valinor so bad.
It's listen, you're doing us a favor. Please just don't. Just get out of here. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. He's making everybody uncomfortable. He'll probably die and then have to spend a bunch of time in the halls of Mana. Just go. Please just go.
Just get him out of here.
Get him out.
Okay. Next question. Why is Huon the goodest boy?
Yes. Next question.
What?
I will not elaborate. I don't need to. How did he get to? Oh, I'm sorry. How many talking dogs in Middle Earth that would sacrifice themselves for their master do you know of? It's 0. He's the only one. He is the one and only. Yeah. No,
but
I don't.
Why is he the only one? I want more talking dogs.
Tough.
Why is there only
He's
one?
the best. He's all you're getting. Deal with it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
We've
For real
got
though, we should have way more
conflicting-
talking dogs.
I know.
Right?
We've got conflicting answers to this one in the sense of where they are exactly. We know what happened, but where are the Entwives?
What's the story there? You
See,
guys
everybody
all
has
have the
the
same
same-
expressions on your
They're
face.
dead. They're dead. I'm sorry. They're dead.
Every-
They're so dead.
Every time you ask this
No.
question, they make the same expression. I hate to break it to you, but
Listen,
Dead.
we know the
Look,
truth.
I'm
We've known
sorry.
for a while. But it's the where. Like, where did they go that they didn't know that they're
and the
going?
how and
That's
the why.
They went south or east, and that's it. They went south or east, and Sauron burned their territory during the Battle of the Last Alliance. I'm sorry, it's just what happened. If you
know.
want, I can make up a fake thingy. I can make up a fake
Yes, please.
They went on a girls' trip. They
they're
went on a
over
girls'
in
trip.
Rune. They went on a girls' trip to Rune. They'll be back
I love
soon.
it.
They'll be back very soon. Yeah.
Yay!
Okay. Next one.
That's it.
How unfair was Beleg's death?
Oh, incredibly. Probably, I would argue and say that Beleg's death is probably the most one of the most out-of-pocket things that Tolkien did other than killing Feanor halfway through his story. I'm still pissed at him
That
for both
part
of those
was
things.
abrupt.
Yeah.
That part was very
Yeah.
abrupt.
Not a fan. Not
Yeah.
a fan.
So, most
Yes.
unfair death
It's a
out
hero.
of the Tolkien universe. Yes?
Yeah, probably.
Right?
Because, like, there's no redemption. His death only serves the story. It's like,
There's no lay
Yeah,
of Beleg.
not unless you write
There
it.
should be. Well, did you happen to see my alternate ending?
I mean,
She made an
I'll
alternate
write it.
ending.
So I
Oh,
made
you
an
did?
alternate ending.
do tell.
So there's this thing where someone went through all the Harry Potter went through a Harry Potter book, and like the scene where like Hedwig dies, they like wrote over the text, like, and then Hedwig got up and flew away and was not dead, and like went on to like live, like just change the ending, but like in the book still, like it could have happened.
Yes.
Sure. So I
Oh gosh.
There we go. Sorry about that.
okay.
We're getting there.
Hooray
Okay.
for technology.
Last speed round conspiracy question, and then
Hit me
we
with it.
will. I have two more things at the end before we end our podcast. But this is the last speed round conspiracy question. Who came first?
Mm-hmm.
The Ents, the Dwarves, or Tom Bombadil?
Damn you.
See, like we could have put the elves on there, but everyone knows that one. This is the trick question.
The Ents, the Dwarves, or Tom Okay, so okay.
That was
Hang
the
on.
best reply
Wait,
ever.
because
I
I
love
need.
it.
Okay, so the Dwarves went to
We
sleep.
broke Dawn.
So technically, they would have been first, but the Ents were made in retaliation to the dwarves being created and were there. You guys. Oh my god. Okay.
I broke Dawn. I broke him. And then I stopped. the word.
Okay. I'm
One
gonna
of my
go.
favorite
I'm
couple
gonna-
fights, by the way, is Yvonne and Ale.
Oh, and it could have been solved if they had just gone to therapy, and none of this would have happened. But you know what?
That is a common
Yeah,
theme on our
let me avoid-
podcast. Is if they would have gone to therapy, they would have been a lot better. common theme on our podcast.
Turin needed all the therapy.
Yes.
If their parents hugged them once in a while.
I mean, Eru Iluvatar is not one for giving hugs.
It's true.
Not really. No.
Okay, what's your order?
Okay. How about I go Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil was first. The Ents were second, only because the dwarves were asleep. I will acknowledge that the dwarves were created first, but they were not out in the world.
Okay.
I like the caveat.
All right.
Yeah, I go Tom Bombadil, Ents, dwarves.
Okay.
All right.
I like
okay.
So, are you wanting to hear what other people replied to that? Just out of curiosity.
Hit me with it. What? Hit me with it.
So, Kaya had the same exact answer. But Max had my answer, where it goes Tom Bombadil, dwarfs, Ents. But Kaya actually had a very good explanation. I was like, that's actually a really good point. Eru did not give the dwarves life. Aule just woke them up. She's like, basically described them as like robots. Like they didn't have the fire. So they weren't alive.
Oh.
Right?
She was getting all technical.
Okay. Oh. Huh. Okay, well, I'm going to text her about that, and we're going to fight about it later, so...
Depends on your definition of alive.
That's
a
very good point, and I don't like...
Right?
Yes, right. 100% right.
All right.
I can see it both ways.
So
really
while
good. Okay, yes.
So while you are stuck on that one, we are going to give you time before our very last question. We're going to give you time to talk about anything you want to promote or your platforms, your new book that's coming out. So if you would like to talk about that, what inspired you to write it, or without spoilers, what can we expect from your book? When does it come out?
Oh, no, I'll spoil the heck out of it. It's not...
Best way to purchase it.
The best way to purchase it is typically with money on the internet. I wrote it because money,
site,
and also... bookshop.org is the one that supports local bookstores.
Like,
I don't care about being bestseller on anything.
No, but like, Amazon kind of steals everything, but it's also very convenient. But if Amazon doesn't help you as much, I want to make sure
it's about the same no matter what. So we're good on that. But yeah, the book is called J.R.R. Tolkien, Father of Fantasy. I was approached to write it about 7 or 8 months ago by Adams Media, who is a subset of Simon & Schuster, and they wanted 100 little vignette stories about J.R.R. Tolkien in a kind of autobiographical way. And I basically took how I would write a script for TikTok and added a lot more detail to make it 300 to 400 words and sort of go in a kind of cohesive-ish order for that sort of thing. And just wrote from there. It was one of those... never thought I'd actually be able to do it, because like I've tried to write books. Like I have actively sat down and been like, all right, if I were write 1,000 words a day for this many days, after 100 days I'll have 100,000 words, and it's hard. I lack the motivation in a lot of ways, and not just because of my ADHD, but it's truly one of those things that, like, as soon as I have a sense of urgency, which is one of the needs for me and my ADHD, is when I have that sense of urgency, I'm like, oh, of course I could do this. This is easy. Someone else is depending on me for it and they're willing to pay me for it. Absolutely. Let's do it. So I went and was like, all right, let's find out what happened in J.R.R. Tolkien's life. And the man's just utterly fascinating in some of the best but also worst ways possible. Like, he lost his parents when he was very young. He fought in World War I. Most of his friends were dead by the time he came back from the war. He was kidnapped as a small child. I don't know if you knew that. Someone stole him and took him to his yeah, it's a wild story. There's all of these so many bizarre things that, like, oh yeah, in reading The Lord of the Rings, I can now see where the influences come from. That tracks. This man was a very different kind of person. That phrase, he's built different. I don't know if Tolkien's body type was built different, but my God, the mental fortitude of that man is like no other. And I just admired that so much about him. And I know a lot about The Lord of the Rings, but I didn't know a lot about Tolkien. And researching this book gave me so much more of an appreciation for the Peter Jackson trilogy, for the animated movies, and for the books themselves, just because I could look at it and go, oh yeah, that's clearly influenced from XYZ. And so my hope is that when people buy the book, which you can do so, I'll wait till she comes back.
You can keep talking.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're good for me to keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. So one of the things I hope people take from this book is they read a chapter. They're not long, right? It's going to be a quick read, but don't read it all at once. Read it and then go down a YouTube rabbit hole, or go find every Wikipedia article relating to the Beatles movie that was almost made because of him, or how wild it was that Ralph Bakshi was literally hand painting the rotoscoped stuff for the animation for his version of his movie in The Lord of the Rings. And just like finding all of these little niche parts of the community that go so far beyond Tolkien and his books. And that's the one thing I love probably more than anything, is the impact and the legacy that Tolkien had, that I try to encapsulate in the book. Is it's not just these 3 books that form a trilogy. It's not just The Hobbit. It's not just the Silmarillion. It is everything that came after. And I tried to sort of build up to it in a way that like made it cohesively a narrative, because the guy was writing pretty much every day of his life
The man
since
is
the time he was very young. No joke. He is literally an Alexander Hamilton style thing. Like, I'll write the musical about his life. Uh-oh, you just gave me a hyperfixation to focus on. Thank you for that one.
I will help you. I volunteer. I will help.
Oh, man. Well, I have a new thing to write. If anybody wants to purchase the rights to the theater production that I'm going to make of this, you let me know. But no, it was so much fun to write things that I'm not as aware of, because it gave me that sense of like wonder and discovery that I hope translates well from my brain to the page. And also shout outs to 2 of my editors, Natalie and Sarah, who did an absolutely amazing job taking the gobbledygook that was my brain and translating it into a more cohesive, like, sentence structure and paragraph structure, because I assure you the book that I turned into them was not the book I got back for edits. It is a full-on, like, it makes sense and it flows and there's narrative cohesion and everything's connected and like, yeah. Typically I'm like okay at following through on storylines, but only for 1-minute videos. That's what I'm trained for, right? I have the ability, as a journalist, I had the ability to take these 2-minute stories, and like I had to condense a 3-hour meeting for a local town hall meeting and condense it into 2 minutes. I tried to do the same thing with Tolkien, take this huge part of his life, like growing up in South Africa, tell it to me in 300 pages, or in 300 words, excuse me. And if you can do that, it's like, all right, all I got to do is one more and one more and one more and one more. And here's where he was kidnapped. And here's where the Beatles didn't want it. And here's that weird script where Frodo spends the night with Galadriel, written by John Borman. I talk about that a little bit. There are a couple of adaptations of The Lord of the Rings I'm very glad didn't get to see the light of day. And I am so looking forward to it.
Wasn't there a Michael Jackson one?
As far as I'm aware,
know
that never got... I don't think got very far. Okay. I'm not as knowledgeable on that one. I know more about the Beatles, the John Borman one, the Zimmerman one. Yeah. But was Michael Jackson going to be in the Beatles one?
No, he like approached Tolkien and like, I want to make a movie of this or something. Like he approached. I could be wrong. It could be like an internet thing. I just. But yeah, there's so many random. Are you googling it now? Are you going into the Google?
I am. I don't know.
We did a similar kind of deep dive. Obviously, probably not as deep of a dive as you did, but we were kind of in between the Silmarillion and the Unfinished Tales, and we were kind of. I didn't want to start it quite yet, and I was kind of putting it off as long as I could. So we were doing these random episodes,
Fair.
and one was about the movie Tolkien, which I actually loved. They couldn't have picked a better cast for that, but it sent me on a deep dive of what's the real story behind this, what's the real story behind this, and this and this and this. It is incredible. So I mean, I'm so glad that those things are going to be out into the universe because of your deep diving and your rabbit hole. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for letting me promote it. It's one of the things that I'm new at doing this. The whole shameless self-promotion to buy something that I put a lot of time and effort into. That's new to me over the last 5 years, and I'm still not good at it. But like it's one of those fun little adventures that I get to coach myself into doing.
Well, with your blessing,
can you say the name of the book again?
Thank you.
Yeah. Can you say the name of the book again and where someone can pre-order?
Yes. If you are interested in supporting me, reading more about J.R.R. Tolkien, the book is called J.R.R. Tolkien, Father of Fantasy, and it comes out November 25th of this year.
Nice.
Way sooner than now that I say that out loud. It's like, oh, it's already May. We only have 6 months to go. What's happening? It's terrifying.
Is there any other platforms
one question
that we can support you on?
Oh, sorry, Ashley, what's up?
I have more questions about the book. I'm sorry, Abby. Stop stealing
You're good.
I love physical books. I grew up with audiobooks. Audiobooks are my jam. I listen to them as I'm doing everything. Will there be an audiobook, sir? And of course you have to narrate it.
Not to encourage your viewers to order it right this minute. However, if we get enough pre-orders, we will likely be able to do one, but that is an entirely separate thing.
Okay.
So,
and if you do the audiobook, will it be with an English accent? I kind of need to know that.
God, no. My English accent is not
it's
good.
Just Gollum.
Thank you for
Gollum
thinking.
reading it the whole time.
Thank you so much, darling. Hello, precious, and welcome to my storage handbook.
Oh my gosh, you should make videos of like you actually reading like kids' books as Gollum.
I
have
done something similar. I have done something similar, but with Donald Trump tweets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you did? Andy Serkis did?
Yeah. Yes, yeah, it was what Andy Serkis did on Colbert, and then I blatantly stole that because I walk and stand on the shoulders of giants. But yeah,
heck yeah. Oh, okay, she's got a little one. Okay, so she's fine. Okay, so audiobook, if enough people pre-order, which means I will be submitting my pre-order immediately because I want the audiobook, sir.
Thank you.
Is there any other plugs for your other podcasts?
I wouldn't mind one more if that's all right.
For it.
I am a content creator, not quite full time. It's mostly part time, but I am also working part time. So it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Essentially, what I have been able to do is fund every project that I have wanted to do from one to another through my Patreon. It is patreon.com/DonMarshall72. If you like The Lord of the Rings, if you're looking for more behind the scenes content, special videos, live streams that are like watch parties stuff, it's a grand old time. We're going to get those started probably around June, where we do a movie every 2 weeks and just go through the entirety of like Tolkien's Legendarium of like, I'm going to do the Rankin Bass ones. I'm going to do the Ralph Bakshi. I'm going to read the John Borman script, which is just going to be absolutely terrible, but you're going to love it.
Will you be doing Lord of the Beans?
You know what? I hadn't thought about that, but maybe I have to now. I might have to put that on the list. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for that one. Yeah.
Sorry to keep
Yes,
interrupting you.
patreon.com/Don Marshall. No, you're good. Patreon.com/Don Marshall 72 is the main place where I'm able to make the content I want to make and do what I want to do in a pretty important way because it is funded by my viewers, and it is the reason I am able to keep doing what I am doing. So incredibly grateful to every patron that is here now, and then hopefully more to come later.
Heck yeah.
Yes. Okay. Am I back? Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yes.
Yep, you're good.
We got you.
Okay. And you talked about all your platforms. I'm sorry. I have a 3-year-old home with me, so I had to go help him out for a second.
No worries. Like I said the last time we recorded, millennials with babies get a free pass from me for life. There's just no, it's like, oh, you have another person you're in charge of? Go deal with that. This isn't important.
Thank you. So we have one last question that we ask our guests on our show. And it's just kind of from the heart from you, like what you would say from the heart. Okay. So I want you to imagine, you can close your eyes if you want. Mm-hmm. Imagine that you're on a park bench and it's a beautiful day and the sun is shining and it's like early summer. So like the trees are all filled in with leaves and it's just the most beautiful park, calming. And you're sitting on a bench and Tolkien walks in and he comes and he sits next to you. And you say whatever you want to say to him for a good 5 minutes. What would you want to say to this man?
Or ask.
I think I'd ask him how we're doing. Like, how are we as stewards of the Lord of the Rings far beyond the author's intent and grasp? Like, how are we as ambassadors to this world that he dedicated so much of his life to? Because like I'm so fascinated by authors who watch their popularity grow while they are still alive and can have opinions on it and can like be a part of the journey. Tolkien got that, but not nearly as much
not
as
to the scale.
Not to this extent. No. So like if it's 2025 and I'm sitting there, I just want to know if he'd approve of everything that we're doing, right? Like, obviously he's an old British man that was raised in a different time and place. So we'd have our differences for sure about like author's intent and interpretation and all of that. But like, I've been so fortunate that, you know, as a Lord of the Rings fan, the Lord of the Rings community has been so welcoming and warm and lovely to be around. It's not a place, for the most part, where I have found a lot of like strife and divisiveness. It's all very much like, oh yeah, we really like these books. You're welcome here regardless. But we're also not going to tolerate intolerance. We're going to make sure that the themes of Tolkien's books of love and friendship and peace are like continuing to be stewarded throughout not just our lives, but hopefully more to come. That's part of the reason why I continue to do what I do, right? I want other people to watch my videos and go, what's the Lord of the Rings? I never heard of that. Or, oh, I've been meaning to read those books. Maybe they're good. And just kind of continuing to do that. And I would love to know what he thinks of the Middle Earth that exists now. Because obviously it's very different, right? Like, I don't picture anyone besides Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn. And, you know, there's so many things like that in my head of like, oh, of course Tom Bombadil looks like this because that's what the Magic the Gathering card looks like. And like, there's so many things that exist now that weren't created by Tolkien, but were created because of him. And I would love for there to be just a way for him to see that and comment on it, because I love it, but I am also a product of my generation and the Peter Jackson trilogy more so than anything else. So I just want him to be able to say, you're doing all right. I think, yeah, that's my answer.
You're doing good, kid.
That's an incredible answer. And it actually kind of, it coincides with your Baron and Luthien idea that like you want that person to be able to like see all the amazing things that they've done.
Exactly. Exactly.
You've got a long-term
Good answer.
perspective, Don. I like it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We have loved having
Thank you
with
so much
us.
for having me.
Yes, and thank you for celebrating our birthday month with us. Our it's crazy. It's been 3 years. This is a lot of
Congratulations. That's no small feat. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Right on.
So, we have a Patreon as well. We are at Sisters of the Shire Podcast at patreon.com. If you would love to support us that way, we would totally appreciate it. We also know that if monetary helping out is not something you can help do right now, we also love getting a review, a rating, sharing with your friends. Those are things that we so love and appreciate and are very, very thankful for. And the same with Don on his platforms, on TikTok,
Show him
Instagram.
all the love.
Are you on?
Thank you.
Are you on any other platforms other than TikTok and Instagram?
I'm
I
on
walked out
TikTok mostly, Instagram, YouTube, Substack. I'm Don Marshall 72 everywhere. You can find all of my links under Don Marshall 72. Just search me on the internet, and I'll pop up eventually.
Yes. Don, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today.
Thank you.
And as I say at the end of our podcast, I always say, thank you for teaching me today. It's been wonderful.
It's been my absolute pleasure to do so. Thank you both so much.
Like
This
a
has been
PBS
lovely.
Kids moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So we'll sign off. Ashley does the sign off, and then she says her name, I say my name, and then you could say your name, and then we'll say goodbye. So go for it,
All right.
Ashley.
So until next time, I've been Ashley.
And I've been Abby.
And
Go for it,
I have
Don.
been Don Marshall, the obscure Lord of the Rings facts guy.
Yes, and we are
Boom.
so
Love it.
happy that you have joined us today, and we hope that you can join us next time. Bye.
And I say, hey, what a wonderful time today.
Thank you for teaching me a day.